Hey guys, I'm starting a new series where I'll be building a SaaS startup in public. I've no idea what the SaaS is really going to be yet, but my hope is in documenting the journey. I'm going to be opening myself up to some cool ideas from you guys, the public, as well as showing people how to build things. Win-win situation. What can go wrong, right? The aim for these videos is not really to show the easy local development stuff, but more how to show how to actually get things running in the cloud, more like a real life production environment. I'm using GCP as a cloud provider for this project. Why GCP? Well, at work, we're starting to use GCP a bit more instead of AWS, and I figured this could help accelerate my own learning on that front. So I'll probably talk a little bit about the differences between the two cloud providers and what I like, what I don't like about the two. Um, anyway, for episode one of SaaS building, what does every great SaaS need? A great website, right? So that's episode one. I'm going to show you how to host a simple static website on GCP. Uh, yeah, let's go. So this is the website that I'm going to be deploying. It's made by a guy called Leo Miranda, who's done a really nice job of creating a Vite React page. I've also bought a domain called AguaSH. Um, and so, yeah, I'm going to sort of assume that you have these things as prerequisites, and then we're going to get going. First thing to do is to create a bucket. I've already created one, so I'll go ahead and create another for demonstration purposes. The bucket needs to be public, and there's a few commands here to allow us to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and execute those. I'm going to do it via the CLI, but I think you can do it via the console as well. Let's see, if I refresh, I've got that public to the internet thing as well. And there's another command to kind of set some default pages. Before I do that, I'm going to actually upload the files to the bucket. I have to say, the console is really fast to be able to upload these things. On AWS, that would take a lot longer. And there's some config here to sort of set some default, like if there's a 404, where does your page go, and things like that. What asset do you load? Um, so yeah, that's kind of the bucket set up, all complete. And if you check this, I don't, oh, maybe if I refresh the page, yeah, there it is. And so the next thing is to create a load balancer. I've already got one again, but I'll create one for demonstration purposes. We can click through these things. Um, Public facing, best for global workloads, application load balancer. Let's go ahead and create. Let's give the front end configuration a name. We'll go ahead and call it development. I'm going to set it to HTTPS. I'm going to reserve an IP address, and the reason that I do this is because I want to be able to have HTTP redirect to HTTPS, and without a reserved IP address, I can't do that. So I'm going to have to create an IP. You do have to pay for that though. I'm going to create a certificate as well, obviously to be able to facilitate HTTPS. Google managed. Um, I think it takes like an hour or so to provision, but we can go ahead and create that now, and it will eventually get done. There's a sneaky thing actually with this where the certificate doesn't actually get provisioned until you assign the IP to the domain record. Um, I'll do that at the end and show you. But that was a gotcha for me before, where the certificate was kind of stuck in this provisioning state. But creating this backend bucket as well for the backend configuration. This confused me a little bit because obviously you have the bucket, but then you need to create this backend bucket, they call it, which then links to the actual Google Cloud storage bucket. I'm going to disable the Cloud CDN option here. You need to pay for this to have your content stored in a global CDN. You also pay for data out of your bucket too, so there's a costing element here where if you're getting a lot of traffic, then there's an inflection point probably where the CDN is cheaper versus serving your content directly from the bucket, but probably nobody cares enough to hit my site yet. Let's get that to change. So then routing rules, we'll go ahead and set pretty standard configuration on these. Add the backend bucket, add a custom error response. So if I get a 404, just redirect to index.html and give a 200 instead. It's a bit nicer than sort of failing. And we'll go ahead and finalize that. That's created, and it's also created a redirect load balancer as well. For HTTP, it's just going to redirect everything to the HTTPS equivalent, basically. Check on the certificate status. It's provisioning. Like I said, it's actually going to stay in this state unless we go to the domain record and add the IP. So here I need to get this IP and add it to the domain name service. I'm using GoDaddy for the domain name service registration. So here I'd add an A record for IPv4 and add that IP address here. And that's it. Once you've followed all these steps and your certificate's been provisioned, you should have a fully fledged working website with a real domain name, all in under 10 minutes. How cool is that? There's a link to the GitHub project with a README for a few handy commands and some documentation if you need that. There's also a Buy Me a Coffee link. If you found this video useful and want me to make more, please consider hitting that up too. Until next time, happy SaaS building!